Welcome back to the Highly Sensitive Woman podcast, previously Earth Intuitive, a hub for sensitive and intuitive women to feel comforted, supported, and whole in their healing journey. We dive into holistic health, energy work, mysticism and neurodivergence, and so much more, for a community of women who feel it all. I'm your hostess, Brittany Nelson, Ayurvedic health counselor, yoga teacher, and highly sensitive soul. Hello everyone. Welcome to summer. I am so excited. This is such a beautiful season. This is going to be a solo podcast today, and we're going to dive into the medicine of summer from an Ayurvedic point of view. We're going to look at the tarot and the energy of summer and how to stay balanced when we're feeling overheated and overbusy. So first things first, I want us all to just take a breath, whether you're driving in your car, doing the dishes, whether you're just lounging in your bed. Just go ahead and soften your eyes, roll your shoulders down and back, and take a nice, long, deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, and just letting go of any worries for the next while as we enter into this discussion and look at the most vibrant season of the year. I want to start with a poem by the famous Mary Oliver. I went out of the schoolhouse fast, and through the gardens and to the woods, and spent all summer forgetting what I'd been taught. 2 times 2 and diligence and so forth, how to be modest and useful and how to succeed and so forth, machines and oil and plastic and money and so forth. By fall I had healed somewhat, but was summoned back to the chalky rooms and to the desks to sit and remember. The way the river kept rolling its pebbles, the way the wild wrens sang though they hadn't had a penny in the bank, the way the flowers were dressed in nothing but light. Thank you, Mary. So here we are. We just crossed the threshold a few days ago of the summer solstice. This is when we are in the longest day of the year, where there is the most light. Here where I live in the Pacific Northwest, it usually starts to get light about 4:30 in the morning, maybe 5, and then it doesn't get dark until past 9:30. And so this is a huge difference from the winter when it's dark a lot here and very rainy and cold. This time of year is the ripening. It's the full maturation of the plants. It is when the sun is at its peak. It is hot. It is bright. Depending on where you live, you might live in a very, very, very hot and humid place. You might live in something that's a little bit more temperate. Luckily, where we live, it gets cool most nights, and we live in the forest. So it's a little bit cooler here than it is in, say, Portland, about an hour away. But this really is the culmination and the light of everything we've been working on this year. We are actually at the halfway point of 2026. And to me, that's mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. I know that we were kind of coming out of the season of the snake year. That was my very first podcast episode on this podcast. And that was a time of shedding our skins, of releasing heavy, heavy stuff we've been carrying. Now we're in the year of the fire horse. There's a lot of forward momentum. There's a lot of change. There's a lot going on. And I have definitely felt it. I've experienced so much positive change in my life, and there's been moments of just like, wow, I can't believe all of this has happened. And I can't believe we're already halfway through the year. The winter kind of dragged on a little bit, but it really did speed up. I felt once the fire horse came to our lives. And so this may be a good time for you if you haven't done this already, and I actually haven't done it either, but if you want to come into some reflection around, wow, we're halfway through the calendar year. Okay, let's assess. And you don't need to go into, have I accomplished my goals yet? It's more so, what have I experienced this year? What have I worked through this year? What has changed? What has changed in me, my mindset, my perspective, what has healed, to really acknowledge all that has happened. Because when we shift our mindset to, I haven't accomplished these goals yet, to look at all that I've accomplished and received, that's just going to bring in more of what we want. So if you're curious and you want to do that practice, just pull out your journal and write, what have I experienced these past 6 months? And just start writing for a few minutes and see what comes. Write from your heart. Don't think about it too much. Just keep writing. Maybe set a timer for 10 minutes. And then just see everything that you've gone through the last 6 months. Anything big that has happened. Maybe big trips or a procedure you had to do, or an ending of a relationship or a job, or maybe a new friendship you've made, a new animal came into your life, whatever it is. There's been a lot. So I just wanted to acknowledge that as we are at the halfway point of the year. Now let's get into the Ayurvedic medicine of this time of year. So if you don't know Ayurveda, I talk about it a lot on this podcast. I'm a certified Ayurvedic health coach. Ayurveda is an ancient system of holistic medicine that comes from India, and it explores everything through the lens of the 5 elements: air, water, ether, fire, and wind. Or earth. I don't know if I said them all. Anyway, so it's looking at the world through all of these different elements. And so in the summertime, this is the season of Pitta dosha, Pitta, Pitta dosha. Dosha translates to imbalance. It also is an archetype or a constitution that many of us can have in our bodies. So for me, in my physical body, in my mind, I have a lot of Pitta dosha, and what that is the combination of mostly fire and a little bit of water. When we think about the element of fire, it's hot, it's penetrating, it's precise, and when not controlled, it can easily get out of control. However, when it is controlled, it is the energy that governs our digestion, our metabolism, transformation in our lives, digesting things, not just our food, but also the experiences that we've gone through. This part of the body resides in the solar plexus, which is the navel, kind of right below the heart, all the way down to the low belly and the belly button. This is where our center is. This is where our power lies. This is where we digest everything. And so if you are like me and you've had digestive issues, yes, there's absolutely a physical component there. However, there's also an emotional component. What have you not digested? What have you not transformed in your life that's still sitting there undigested? So a lot to think about there. However, we are going to get into some great herbs and practices you can do that helps with Pitta. So when we're in this fiery time of year, this is when it is hottest. This is when the days are longer. We're going to feel more of that Pitta dosha. Maybe you go to the pool or you go to the beach or you go out to a field in the middle of the day and you feel that sun beating down on you. That is prime Pitta time. Pitta time of the day is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This time of day is not only the best time to work and get things done. That's a part of Pitta, is to work, get shit done, be focused, be determined. It's also the best time to digest our food. This is when our digestive capacity is at its highest. Our metabolism is at its highest. Everything just works better. And I feel it so deep. I can't have a big meal at night. It takes me hours and hours and hours to digest it. But when I have a big sandwich or something a little bit naughty at noon or 1 o'clock, man, I could digest it so much better. So this is actually the time that you want to have your biggest meal of the day, according to Ayurveda, especially if you experience digestive issues or sleep issues at night. You'll want to have your biggest meal in the middle of the day. You'll also want to complete your biggest tasks in the middle of the day, whether it's a project or a conversation you need to have with someone, or you have a to-do list. This is the best time to do it. Early in the morning, we're still feeling slow. It's that kapha energy, which is more earth and water. We're sort of slowly rising, and our digestive capacity is not quite there yet. And then we go through pitta, and then vata time, and then kapha again in the evening. So it's not always the best time to have our dinners at 6 or 7 o'clock at night, especially if it's a heavy meal. It's better to have some light broth or something small, like a piece of sourdough toast. Miso broth is really great. Bone broth. We want to keep things easy for our digestive system here. And this is what's going to help keep us healthy, because when we have a lot of stomach issues or digestive issues, that's going to lead to, in Ayurveda, we call it ama toxins. That's going to lead to getting sick more often, more mucus in the body, more stagnation in our movements. And so we want to keep things moving. We want to keep things going. So that was a little litany about digestion and the best time to eat during the day. Now let's talk about what happens when pitta gets too hot. And this is very common. So in Ayurveda, we always bring the opposite as the medicine for what is going on. So if you think about a fire, a big bonfire, and the bonfire gets out of control, what do? We pour water on it. Okay, so we pour something that's the opposite element of fire onto that to make it either decrease or go out. And so if you are in southern Italy on a vacation and it's really, really hot and you're having a spicy margarita, I don't know if they probably don't have that there. It's kind of a bad example. Let's say you're in Mexico, spicy margarita, and you're having chips and tomato salsa that's really spicy. You're out in the day at noon. You're going to probably get burnt and overheated, maybe even a little dehydrated, because we're adding fire on fire on fire on fire. The better thing to do, let's say same scenario, you're on vacation in Mexico. The better thing to do, maybe pick a spot that has some shade. It's not like you can totally avoid the sun, right? We still want to enjoy it. Keep your body cool by going into the ocean, have some shade, and then hydrate yourself with coconut water. Have some cucumbers, maybe some mint water. Eat watermelon. Spritz your body with rose water. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm bringing the opposite in to counterbalance all of that heat. For me, I get really sensitive in the extreme weather. So I can't do super cold. I can't do super hot, especially when I'm trying to sleep. So for me, I actually try to avoid the heat in the middle of the day if I can help it. I might go for a hike in the morning. My favorite thing to do is to go for a sunset walk, watch the sky. It's so beautiful. Maybe go under a moonlight walk. This is going to be very cooling to the body, especially if you have a lot of pitta dosha. And so what you'll want to do is to avoid the high pitta time, avoid high pitta foods. That includes anything that's spicy, tomatoes, acidic foods. That includes coffee or a lot of caffeine. That includes heavier foods like chocolate. That's very acidic as well. And booze. I hate to say it for some of you, and it's no judgment. But again, that is just going to increase your fire. It's all very acidic, heavy foods. I would also avoid a lot of heavy, fatty foods as well under the pitta sun. So again, you're going to want to stick to lighter foods, fruits, melons, cucumber, avocado, things that are healthy for you, but that are lighter. Maybe some jasmine rice, maybe some cooked veggies. And this is actually the time of year when having more raw foods is more acceptable. You do not want to do raw foods in the winter. You want to really make sure everything is cooked to keep things warm in your digestive tract. However, this is a hotter time of year. And so I love to have rose water nearby, coconut oil nearby. I love to stay indoors in the middle of the day and just go outside when it's not as hot. Or if I am going to go outside, it's got to be by a cool river where I could keep cool. This is really going to help, because what can happen when we have too much fire, it can result in so many different things in our bodies. So it could be physical stuff like digestive issues, acid reflux, loose stools, just having kind of a stomach ache, feeling more inflammation in the body, irritation, anger, frustration, sort of these more fiery elements that can come online when we have too much heat in the body. If you are a big exercise person or a runner, please don't go running at noon in the summertime under the heat, right? Maybe you'll do it early in the morning, maybe later in the day, maybe just go to the gym and avoid the hot sun. These are just going to help keep us in balance. It's not that we can't enjoy the sun. It's that we want to make sure we are not going too much in the direction of fire, and we're going to feel that heat. And what that's going to do is it can help us, or actually cause us, to feel more irritated, inflamed, and also just harder to sleep at night, because we want to keep things really cool when we sleep at night. If you don't have air conditioning and you're really struggling, please do yourself a favor. Get an AC unit from someone on Facebook Marketplace. If you need help with that, you can reach out, because we've done it and we've made it work in our own house. Great. Now, a couple of my favorite herbs to work with in the heat to offset all the heat. Number one is rose. That's probably my favorite herb of all time. I use it every single day. I put fresh crushed rose petal powder in my chai every morning. It's really good for heart opening. It's also very cooling and soothing on inflammation in the body. It's very high in vitamin C. It's really good if you're feeling sick. And it's really, really great for those of you who are listening who want to tap in more to your sacred feminine energy. It's really in the heart space. It's really soft and just really, really connects you to something bigger than yourself. I also really, really love aloe vera. It's a strong herb, but it's really great, especially if you are experiencing a lot of those like acid reflux issues. Aloe vera juice is really great to take before bed or just throughout the day a couple of times. You just take a little shot of it. Also, of course, aloe vera on the outside of your body. If you're in the sun too much, you could do that as well. You can even open up the aloe vera leaves and there's a gel inside, and you could just use that on your body. You could use that in a smoothie. It's really, really great stuff. So, of course, I have to say, with anybody who's listening, herbs are medicine. So you always want to check with your healthcare provider. Make sure it's going to be okay with the other medicines you're taking, or if you're pregnant or trying to get pregnant, any of that kind of stuff. Make sure you do the right thing and make sure it's okay for you. Now, on the flip side of that, we also want to really harness the power of the sun, right? This is a great time to kind of capture the essence of the sun and celebrate its gifts. So for herbs that celebrate the sun, that is great to bring into, let's say, the winter when it's really dark and cold, is St. John's wort and dandelion. Those are two of my favorites. St. John's wort grows during the summer solstice. So some of you may find some big, tall weeds that have yellow flowers on them on the side of the highway or on a hillside. That might be St. John's wort. It grows around the summer solstice. It's a great time to gather these plants, make oils with them. Medicine Stories podcast with Amber Magnolia Hill. She has a whole episode about St. John's wort. She also has another episode about rose. Those are really, really great if you want to go deeper into those herbs and those plants. St. John's wort is amazing for uplifting the spirit, to bring your sun, the inner sun, to activate your inner sun, to help you feel more joyful, to help you feel better in your body. It's actually really great for a sunscreen as well when used very specifically. You'll want to be a little bit more careful with St. John's wort because it helps with depression. So it does act as almost like a natural antidepressant that can interact a lot with other medications. So especially if you're interested in looking into that, definitely do your research, talk to your healthcare provider about that. But it is a wonderful, wonderful ally. I know that Amber Magnolia Hill, who I just mentioned, she makes beautiful oils. So if you don't want to take it internally, you could put it outside your body. It's really good for pain and for inflammation. It helps soothe everything. It helps relax your nerves. And that can be a great sunscreen as well. So go check that out. My other favorite is dandelion. Dandelion really helps the digestive system and the liver system. So I actually take a dandelion glycerate several times a day. I had my gallbladder removed. I've had some liver and digestive issues. So it really helps to strengthen the liver and the digestive system so that they can detox and digest and do their job efficiently without that sluggishness happening. Dandelion is so bright and beautiful too. It's one of the first flowers that pops up in the springtime. It's like happy little suns that grow through. I love that I see dandelion roots everywhere, like everywhere you can imagine, in sidewalk cracks, on the side of the highway, in big fields. They're just everywhere. And I think that's for a reason. Dandelion also makes a great coffee alternative. So it's really, really good if you want that coffee flavor without the caffeine and all the drawbacks of coffee. Dandelion is a great option. It's a bitter, so it's really, really good for your digestive system. So go check that out. A lot of places will mix dandelion with chicory root. So the dandelion root, chicory root for a coffee alternative, dandy blend, and there's a lot of other coffee alternatives out there right now with that herb in it. So if you want to harness the power of the sun, these are two amazing herbs as well. All right, let's shift into the energy. So a little bit more on the mystical side here now, going from the physical medicine of summer to now the energetic medicine of summer. I'm a huge tarot person. I've been reading tarot for many years now, and I trained with Lindsay Mack. She's got a great podcast out there. Go check it out. It's called Tarot for the Wild Soul. She also just had her book come out and a new deck come out. She's wonderful. So I learned from her about 10 plus years ago. So I've been doing this for a long time. Tarot is basically sort of like a mythical, archetypal story of our lives and how our lives are very cyclical. We go through different cycles and different lessons in our lives. And so the main card of summer is, not surprising, the sun. This is a card that is very vibrant. It's a new beginning. In the Smith Rider-Waite deck, which is kind of more of the classic traditional deck, it has a baby on a horse with the sun behind it. It's like a rebirth. It's a new beginning after an intense part or tense moment of healing or change in your life or heaviness, old stuff that has moved through, and you're coming out anew. This is a time of joy, of celebration, of starting new things, of just being bold and brave. And so this is a great time to just bask in the sunlight, to enjoy this time of year. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be all fun and games all the time, but it is a time of year where you are invited to go out and meet new people, to do things you wouldn't normally do, to go out and socialize, to stay up a little bit later maybe, and maybe not sleep as much, to be outside more often. This past week, I've spent a lot of time outside, and it's felt so nice because so much of the year is too cold and wet to be outside very long. So I'm enjoying it. I'm taking advantage of this time of year. Go out to a lake, go out to a beach, call your friends up, have some more fun. This is the time to do it, right? As adults, we don't have enough fun. We're worried about bills, we're worried about kids, or we're worried about X, Y, and Z. And so this is an invitation for you to go have fun. Just like that Mary Oliver poem at the beginning, it's like this is the time where you put your pencils down and you go out in nature and you just enjoy. And what a beautiful invitation to really enjoy this season. If you don't love the heat very much, you could still enjoy it in different ways, which is to go out later in the day, which is to go by a river. You could stay out of the heat in the heat of the day, right? Make it work for you. And my last little tidbit here is to get some fractionated coconut oil. So that's the coconut oil that's just liquid. Put that on your body. Maybe take a shower at night. That's going to help cool you down. Sit in front of a fan. Do some light stretches. You don't want to overdo it too much this summer, especially if you're already in the heat. So just make sure that you're staying hydrated, that you've got some coconut or aloe vera or rose in your pocket, and you're really going to enjoy this season. So if you want to go deeper into the medicine, the Ayurvedic medicine of summertime, I have a 1-hour course that's all about the spring and summer medicine in Ayurveda. So we do yoga postures that are helpful. We have a couple of breath work techniques that are very cooling and soothing to your body. We talk about diet, we talk about herbs. So it's kind of like this podcast, but expanded quite more with movement and practice. So if you want to grab that, go ahead and send me an email at brittany@earthintuitive.com. You can also go to my Instagram, and I have the link to purchase that course. So it's only $22, and you get an hour-long yoga, breath discussion for just $22. You could grab that at the link in my bio in my Instagram, or if you want to, just send me an email and I will give you the link to join. I would love to have you in there. Otherwise, everyone, I just want to thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy the medicine of summer. If this resonated with you, please do share it with a friend, share it in your stories, leave a comment. We're really in the phase of growing this podcast and trying to get it out to the right people. So thank you so much for listening. Again, I will see you all in the next episode. Be well.